Hi, this is Mohan Golap, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Hirashigor Institute of Technology, Nidsoshi. So today we'll start module number 5, and in that let us discuss chapter number 12, that is secondary storage structure. So these are the contents which we are going to discuss in this chapter. So already you know that but every system, that's every computer system is having a storage structure. So whenever you want to store some information on the device, you need to have some storage. So that's why again the computer systems, so whatever the storage it is having, it is nothing but a mass storage device. And here we are going to discuss the structure of these particular devices. So we'll start with the magnetic disk. So this is the very popular secondary storage medium that is in use. And here we know that as the name itself indicates, the magnetic disk means it is made up of the number of disks. So here it will be having the number of disks, and the disk will be rotating at the speed of 60 to 200 times per second. And here we have some terminologies related to this, like the transfer rate, positioning time, the seek time, rotational latency, and so on. We will discuss this one by one. So what is transfer rate? So it is the rate or the speed at which the data flows between the drive and the computer, because we saw the computer system will be having the storage in the form of a disk drive. So it is made up of the number of disks. So the transfer rate is the time taken or the speed at which the data flows between the drive and the computer system. So the next one is positioning time. This is also called as access time. It is the time between, it is the time to move a disk arm to the desired cylinder, because the disk arm will be at a particular random position, and if you want to read the content of a particular cylinder, you have to move the disk arm to the corresponding cylinder in order to read the content of that cylinder. So what is disk arm, what is cylinder, and all we'll discuss those things in the next slide. Time being, you just remember the positioning time is also called as random access time, and it is the time to move the disk arm to the desired cylinder from which you want to read the content. So it is also called as seek time. And the one more is the time for desired sector to rotate under the disk head is called as rotational latency. So the next one is head crash, because sometimes we know that in order to read the content of the disk, there will be a particular disk arm which will be positioned on a particular disk with some space. So sometimes there is a possibility that the disk, the moving arm may hit the disk. So in that case, whatever the crash that occurs, the damage that happens to the particular disk surface, it is called as the head crash. So that's why the head crash results from the disk head making contact with the disk surface. So it's a bad one. So this can be removable. That's what here we know that the disk drive means it will be consisting of the number of disk of various sizes, and if a particular head cache occurs on a corresponding disk, so that single disk can be removed instead of removing the entire drive. So here the whatever this disk drive is there, so this disk drive is to be attached to the computer via the IO bus. So again the different IO buses are there. You might have studied these things in the microprocessor and the microcontrollers. So already you know the type of buses and how they are going to differ. So here we have listed some, that is the buses vary, which includes the AID, ATA, SATA, USB, fiber channel, ACSI, and so on. So the host controller in a computer uses the bus to talk uh, to disk controller built into the drive or storage array. So as I told you in the next slide, here we'll see how exactly the disks are managed or arranged into the disk drive. So it is a moving head disk mechanism. So here you can see the middle we have a rod which is nothing but a spindle. So all these whatever the discs are there, so all the discs are rotating and these are in contact with this particular spindle. So this to this spindle this particular discs are there. So you can see every disc is having a particular circular ring shaped arrangement. So this ring shaped arrangement is called as a track. So here in turn this ring shaped arrangement is again divided into the number of divisions, and here each division is called as a sector. So here just for demonstration we have shown only one track, but your disk will be having the several number of tracks in this way. So that's why here whenever a particular track is there, so corresponding to this track this disk will be also having a track. So corresponding to this here this disk will also have the track. So that's why here at a particular position, so whenever you combine the logical combination, so virtually whenever you combine all these tracks, so it looks like a particular cylinder. So that's why this is called as a cylinder. So logically or virtually in your disk drive there will be the number of cylinders where we will be considering the tracks one below the other at the same position. And here this indicates the rotation, because we know that the disk will be continuously rotating. In the previous slide we saw the speed also, the speed is going to vary. So here we have to read the content of this. So that's why to read the content of this we have a read write head which is placed uh, exactly on a particular disk with some gap between the disk and the read write head. And to hold this read write head we have the arm assembly. So in the previous slide we saw the head crash. So here as I told you that this read write head is going to read the content in the the content from this particular disk. And we saw the different terminologies also, like if you want to read the content of a particular track or a sector, you have to move this read write head to that position in order to read that. But there will not be any physical contact between the disk and the read write head. Whenever a physical contact occurs, that disk will be damaged, and this process is called as head crash. So in this way the disk arrangement will be there in the disk drive. So this is about the disk, magnetic disk, and next we will see the magnetic tape. So this is another variation of the storage medium. So here it was the previous used before the magnetic disk. So it was the early secondary storage medium. So comparatively the performance is not good for the magnetic tape compared to the magnetic disk. So here the relatively permanent and holds the large quantities of data, and the magnetic tape access time is slow compared to the magnetic disk. So here the random access is approximately 1000 times slower than the magnetic disk here. So it is mainly used for backup storage of infrequently used data transfer medium between the systems. So once data under the head, the transfer rates are comparable to the disk, but whenever it is required to move from one position to the another position, the transfer rate is very slow compared to the magnetic disk. So here the typical storage will range from 20 to 200 GB, and the common technologies include the 4mm, 8mm, 19mm, LTO2 and SDLT. So this is all about the magnetic tape. So next we'll see the disk structure. So we saw how exactly these things are arranged. So now we'll see how it is programmed. So a particular disk drives are addressed at a large one-dimensional arrays of logical blocks, where the logical blocks is the smallest unit of transfer. So the one-dimensional array of logical blocks is mapped into the sectors of the disk sequentially. So that's what here you can see. So we saw that this the ring type structure is called as a track, and this ring type structure is divided into the number of divisions. These divisions are called as sectors. So here in order to implement this the system will be using a logical array, a logical one dimensional array, where you can consider the sectors itself as the members of that particular array. So, this all together this track will form a particular one dimensional logical array. So, that is what here the one dimensional array of logical blocks is mapped into the sectors of the disk sequentially, means the sector 0 is the first sector of the first track on the outermost cylinder. Mapping proceeds in order through that track, then the rest of the tracks in that cylinder, and then through the rest of the cylinders from the outermost to the innermost. So, that is what here it starts from the, as given here, it starts from the sector 0. So, it will move on to cover all the sectors of this particular track. So, when it completes all the sectors of this track, so it will span to the next tracks also. So, whenever it covers one one uh, track, so the corresponding tracks of the same cylinder are considered. So, again it may be started from the outermost towards the innermost. So, in this way the disk structure will be there. So, next we will see the disk attachment. So, disk attachment means here it just indicates how exactly the storage is connected to the computer system. So, here again we have the three approaches, that is host attached system, network attached system, and the storage area network. So, let us discuss these one by one. So, the first one is host attached system. The name itself indicates host attached storage. Host attached storage means the storage is directly attached to host, may be part of that particular host only. So, here the accessed through IO ports talking to the IO buses. So, again there are the different technologies which you can use for the IO bus or IO ports. So, as I told you, host attachments. So, whatever the system you are using, so to that system the storage device is directly attached through a particular IO bus. So, again you can use the different technologies. If you use the SCSI, the SASI itself is a bus, and up to 16 devices on one cable can be connected, and SCSI initiator request operation and SCSI targets perform the task. It is the internal architecture. So, each target can have up to 8 logical units, that is the disk attached to the device controller. So, this is about SCSI. The one more technology for the IO can be the FC. It is a high speed serial architecture, and it can be switched to fabric with a 24-bit address space and the basis of the SANs, in which many hosts attached to the many storage units. It can be arbitrated loop, that is FCAL, of 126 devices. So, this is about the host attached storage. So, the second one is network storage. So, as I told you, in the host attached storage, the storage device is directly connected to the host computer system, but in this case, that is in network attached storage, the direct connection between the host computer and the storage will not be there. So, here as the name itself indicates, network attached means the storage is connected through a network. So, you can see that in this particular figure. So, here NAS means the network attached storage. So, here some sort of storage devices will be there, and here we have the host computers. So, when these host computers want to access the contents of the storage, so it is possible through this network. So, indirectly this storage is the storage devices are connected to these host computers through a particular network. Means here the host devices, in order to access the content of this, so they have to use this network. So, again recently a lot of advancements have taken place to implement the different technologies. So, in order to support this, that is the NAS key is the storage medium available over a network rather than over a local connection. So, again we have the NFS here, CIFS are the common protocols. So, these are the advancements to support the network attached storage. So, it is implemented via remote procedure calls between host and the storage, and a new ISCSI protocol uses the IP network to carry the SCSI protocol. So, these are some of the advancements that are presently taking place in order to support the activities of NAS. Third one is storage area network. So to understand this, you just look at this particular figure. So this is an example of storage area network. The name itself indicates storage area network means it is a network of storages. So in the previous slide we saw NOS, that is network attached storage, where one side we have the storage devices and another side we have the host computers, and through the network the host computers will be accessing the storage. But here that is possible if the number of host computers is limited and all are of the same type or the same technology. But whenever we have the storage devices may be of different types, they may be using the different technologies and so on. So in most of the time the host computers may not be possible to access the devices directly. So that's why, in addition to this network, because if you compare this with the NAS, so this side is same, this side is same, but here instead of having only the storage devices, here we have the network of storage devices. So that's why you can see here the SAN indicates network of, that is storage area network. So here we have the different storage devices, and to access the data of these storage devices, so we have a network, that is SAN. So again, in order to process these requests, we have the different servers, the different protocols will be running for this. In addition to this, there will be some special type of servers like the data processing system center, the web content provider, and so on. So that's why you can consider the NAS is for the limited use, or when the number of devices, the storage devices and the client devices is limited. But when you move further for the larger organization, so we need to have the storage area network for the same. So that's what given here. It's common in large storage environments and becoming more common. Multiple hosts attached to multiple storage arrays, and it is flexible. So that is what the storage area